Hello, so this is 2chan Post horror stories which I've translated. They feature Yakuza from popular demand. As a little heads up, next week I'm going to be doing a cryptic horror story themed event. Every day from Monday, so that's 7th, to Sunday the 13th, at 8 PM UK time I'm going to release cryptic horror stories, one every day. Okay, and these are going to be the most difficult cryptic horror stories that I could possibly find in Japanese or in English, and they're going to get more difficult as we progress through the week. Okay, so the Sunday one is going to be the most difficult one. I figured this might be quite fun, as everybody likes a good challenge, don't they? Okay, that's it from me. Enjoy the video. The Yakuza's lover. I've always had a very close group of friends. Ever since university, we've all lived in the same apartment. It was a laugh. Some of us were working, some of us still studying, but we always met up for drinks in my room at the end of the day. But as years passed due to work, my friends moved out one by one until there was only a few of us left. It had just been a few months since one of my closest friends had moved out. He called me up and asked me if I would like to visit his new place. Thinking it would be interesting, I decided to visit him the following weekend. In all honesty, the place wasn't amazing. It was slightly worn down, small, and didn't have a garden. But it was a detached house, so I guess it was better than what I was renting now. I was looking forward to catching up with my friend, but all the time we were talking, it was as if he was thinking about something else, and I felt that he wasn't really listening to what I was saying. Most of the time I was there, he just fiddled around with his phone. He laughed a lot, but I couldn't help feeling that it was fake. "Dude, is there something wrong?" I asked. He didn't reply at first, I just continued to stare at his phone. Then he replied, "Actually, I have something I need to talk about. I need help." His voice was quivering slightly. I realised this must be the reason why he had invited me over. Apparently the trouble started a few days ago. My friend had hit the lover of a Yakuza member with his car. The woman wasn't seriously injured, just a few bruises and scratches here and there. She also said she was fine at the time, and said she wouldn't press charges, so my friend drove back home without worries and didn't bother contacting the police. But the following day, a few Yakuza members came knocking at his door and asked for compensation. I would have helped him out, but there really was nothing I could do. I wasn't rich, and I had no contacts with the Yakuza. I felt really bad for him, but I picked up my things and set to leave. As I got up, my friend stopped me. "Wait, before you go, there's one more thing I want you to see." He pointed towards his desk behind me and indicated me to look inside the top drawer. I turned back and opened the drawer to find nothing inside. Puzzled, I knelt down and stuck my hand into the end of the drawer, but I still couldn't find anything. "Dude, there's nothing in here." I fell to the floor. I could feel something warm all over my face. Confused, I tried to get up, but I couldn't. I felt really dizzy, and there was a sharp pain to the back of my head. As I looked up, I saw my friend standing over me with a baseball bat. His expression had changed to a fierce glare. What the fuck? What the hell have I done to deserve this? As my consciousness started to fade, I saw my friend kneel down next to me. The next moment, I felt a knife slice into my gut. I tried to scream, but all that came out was a gurgle as my throat filled up with blood. "Oh, it hurts. Please help me. Someone help. He's touching my insides, my organs." Then I heard a chuckle. There was someone now in the room with us. "Careful, boy," the voice said. "You don't want to spoil it." "Sorry, sir," my friend replied. It's okay. God damn it though. The liver of the guys who drink are always really bad quality. But I'll tell you what, bring me another 3, and that'll be enough for us to forgive you. Thank you. Well, I have a few more friends, so I'll find them, and... That's as far as I remember. I don't remember anything else. I felt myself fade into darkness, and when I woke up, I was in the hospital bed. Apparently, I had been in the hospital for the last 6 weeks. The police went to arrest my friend, but he was long gone. Even now, I don't have a liver. I could do with a drink.
My friend. I have this pain in the arse friend. He's basically a scumbag and I don't hang around with him much. He makes a living by stealing and selling cars. That day too, he stole a car parked at a convenience store near where he lived. He took the car to a shady second-hand car dealer as usual. He was told to wait for the dealer to estimate the car's value. But for some reason, apparently he received a call after only an hour. That was quick. Is there a problem? There was no reply at first. Just come down and you'll understand, said the dealer. Confused, my friend went down to meet the car dealer. When he finally arrived, the car dealer was waiting for him with the car my friend had given him. So, what's the problem? My friend asked, irritably. Without a word, the dealer opened the trunk of the car. Inside was a bound woman. What the fuck is that? The woman's arms, legs, mouth, and even her eyes and ears had been covered with duct tape. I think you must have stolen a Yakuza car. Sorry mate, but we can't buy this car. Take it back. And by the way, from now on, find somewhere else to sell all the cars you steal. With that, the dealer went back inside his office and closed the curtains. I think my friend must have gotten scared. He found the nearest car park he could find, left the car there, and ran as fast as possible back to his house. He then called me and told me about the whole situation. He asked me what to do. I told him at the time that it would probably be alright. After all, there would be no way that the Yakuza could ever find him. I mean, how could they know that he'd been the one who'd stolen the car? After talking to him about it for around an hour, he finally calmed down after some convincing. I went to sleep. I was slightly annoyed. I had an early day tomorrow. I had to be up for work. I got another call at roughly midnight. I saw it was from my friend. He was probably fussing again. Pissed off, I answered the phone and was about to open my mouth when... Fuck! Help! I don't know how they've done it, but they found my house, my friend screamed. They found me! Help me! They're asking me to give back the car! What the fuck am I going to do? I live with my parents! What am I going to tell them? The Yakuza had managed to find my friend. Apparently, he managed to return the car. It was still left in the car park. But somehow the woman in the trunk had escaped. Maybe someone helped her out. I suppose it was for the best, I guess. The woman would have probably been killed after all. By the way, my friend went missing, and they still haven't found him. Karaoke. 5 years ago, I was drinking at a karaoke booth in Japan with some work colleagues. I slipped out of the booth to go to the toilet at one point. On the way, just outside another karaoke booth, were two normal looking guys dressed in suits. They were probably just normal businessmen. Surrounding them were teenagers. I think there must have been at least 10 of them. One of the teenagers was shouting at one of the men. He then proceeded to grab hold of him by the scruff of the neck. It looked like he was going to swing a punch. Not wanting to get involved, I ignored them and slipped past to proceed to the toilet. I stayed in the toilet on the long side, on purpose. Hopefully the teenagers would have left by the time I came out. As I ventured out the toilet, a strange sight entered my eyes. All the teenagers were lying on the floor. They were all in pretty bad state, but the boy who had been shouting was really in trouble. He had a massive gash on his forehead and blood was flowing all over his face. He must have been hit by the bloodied ashtray lying next to him. Later, the karaoke place was surrounded by the police, and we all had to leave. I guess the two guys must have been gangsters or something. Dark money. This is a story I heard from a Yakuza I once knew. I heard about it when we were drinking at a certain bar. Well, when I say Yakuza though, he wasn't an official member or anything. He told me when he was younger he used to work with an older Yakuza member to collect money lent by the Yakuza to civilians and small businesses. According to my friend, it was quite common for the local Yakuza to lend money like this. Only there's a big difference between the Yakuza and a bank. The interest rate on loans lent by the Yakuza tends to be toichi, which basically means 10% per month in Japanese. The Yakuza didn't lend just for the interest return. You see, they use ridiculous interest rates to make people bankrupt and then set claims to all of their assets. This includes their land, houses, and sometimes their wives or daughters. It seems like my Yakuza friend did some pretty terrible things too. An old couple who are running a small factory had been borrowing money from the Yakuza. At one point, they said they were filing for bankruptcy. But of course, this wasn't unexpected and had been anticipated by the Yakuza. They had researched in advance where the couple's sons and daughters were living. They threatened to start claiming repayments from them instead. In the end, the man committed suicide by throwing himself in front of a train. The wife's whereabouts were never confirmed. In the end, they collected the money. The son had to borrow from the bank, and he also had to sell his house. Here's a little story about how Yakuza torture people in real life. I heard this from a loan shark who used to work for the Yakuza, so it's definitely true. Apparently, the most common method of torture used by the Yakuza is to slowly burn the victim's face using a gas burner. Quite a lot of the time, they find out the person was actually innocent, but they can't go back, so they finish the job anyway. Most of them go insane before they actually die.